AITA for telling my wife it's her fault that our sons now hate and ignore their sister? My wife, 39F, and I, 44 meters, have 3 children, 2 boys, 15, 14, and a girl, 12. While my wife is a great mom to all of our kids, she always had a special bond with our daughter. I wouldn't frame it as classic favoritism but as a little bit more attention and love. The boys were always aware of this and teased their mom with it jokingly, but it was never a problem, because she really is a great mom to them too. A few weeks ago my 14-year-old, let's call him Jim, and our daughter, let's call her Anna, had a big fight and a screaming match. It turned out that Anna took Jim's AirPods to her dance class, forgot them there and tried to lie about it. My wife intervened and apparently took Anna's side. I wasn't there so I don't know. My older son Alex intervened on behalf of his brother and told his mom that she is unfair. My wife doubled down and told them to FCK off. Again, no idea. And that Anna is more important. My boys swear that she said that Anna is more important than them, while she swears that she said that Anna is more important than a pair of AirPods. Alex exploded and called his mom AC, took his brother and left. My wife called them for hours but they didn't answer. In the end she called me and I picked the boys up. The relationship between our boys and their sister has been dead after this. They don't talk to her, ignore her when she approaches them, and won't tolerate her presence. When she enters a room, they leave. Kitchen for example. It is heartbreaking to watch. My wife tried to mend things and talk to them but she gets aggressively ignored too. Yesterday my wife had a breakdown and started to cry after we went to bed and said that home life has been hell for the last weeks. I had little sympathy and told her to suck it up because it's her fault. She called me an AH and cried even more. AITA? I know I am technically in the right here, but my wife is already devastated and remorseful. It is my job now to help her. The relationship between girls and boys in our home. Edit. Anna had to buy her brother a new pair of AirPods. We gave her the money that was supposed to be for her birthday. She will get nothing for her birthday in April. NTA, but you need to follow up that hard truth with action. At the end of the day, what your sons heard was that your wife cares more about Anna than them, affirming what they already felt. And she did absolutely defend Anna when she was lying. Anna wasn't punished for losing an expensive item she stole from her brother. And your wife hasn't apologized for being wrong about that, or for what she said. So, if your wife wants to make this right, she can't just cry. She needs to do something. And so do you. First, if the AirPods story is true, aka Anna took them and lost them, then she needs to apologize. The AirPods need to be replaced, and Anna needs to be punished. If your wife won't do that, then you need to. Your sons also want to see you stick up for them, not sit by and watch this unfold. And you are a parent to Anna too, so you can make this happen. Then your wife needs to fully apologize for taking Anna's side. And if she truly believes she didn't say the things both your sons heard, she needs to explain herself without yelling, and still apologize for how it came across. And then, still not done, your wife needs to address why she would jump to Anna's side and not give what her sons said equal weight in a standoff of children where the truth can't be determined. If that's even the case here, then a parent shouldn't take a side. We all know why she took Anna's side. And what was once mild favoritism has now created an environment where your sons feel unsafe. They know their mother will not defend them, will not listen to them, will not care for them. If Anna stands in the way of those things, your wife can only fix that, and you need to be active in it too by changing the way she acts, being patient, and demonstrating changed behavior over time. I wouldn't frame it as classic favoritism but as a little bit more attention and love. That made me so sad to read. You're on your son's side. But you're not on it enough if you don't see that as classic favoritism. NTA. I guess. Classic favoritism is classic favoritism. She should be called out on it. At some point the damage becomes irreparable. The boys now have each other. Your mother has not been a mother to them or the mother they needed. Your wife wanted a best friend, playmate, and someone to fulfill her emotional needs. She got your daughter. NTA for calling her out, but also YTA for letting it go this long. You knew this was happening. It's great you're on the boys' side now, but where was this years ago when they started noticing it? And you knew they noticed it? NTA for telling your wife what you did, but maybe for other reasons. Anna needs to own up for her actions and apologize and be clearly punished. Your wife needs to acknowledge clearly her unfairness and apologize for it. If the boys are unwilling to listen directly, a written letter or a video is an option. I've a feeling this was a final straw for the boys. They know what punishment they'd get if they lost their iPods. But Anna lost the iPods and lied and got defended. You wrote this like a completely passive bystander, but you're in this mess too. Ash, both you and your wife. You should be involved in fixing this dynamic. You've been aware of this and still let it get out of control even if you didn't directly cause it. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Again, no idea. They don't talk to her. Ignore her when she approaches them and won't tolerate her presence. When she enters a room, they leave. Kitchen, for example. It is heartbreaking to watch. So this is how you deal with a big family problem. You weren't there, so you don't do anything. Your wife needs to apologize. Anna needs to be punished, and your boys need to work on forgiving. You need to work becoming an involved parent instead of just sitting idly by and taking the stance that since you weren't there you can't do anything. Ash. So what was the punishment again? Daughter had to buy new AirPods, for which you gave the funds for in lieu of her birthday 2 months away? How is that a punishment? Likelihood is come April mom will buy a small present anyway. Daughter at best felt mildly pissed in the moment, but there are no immediate consequences such as a grounding, removal of something she cares about, or realistically replacing the AirPods and making her payback over time. Whether that be extra chores or selling something she cares about. I get she is 12 and TBH fronting up the AirPods and saying in 2 months she doesn't get a present is not an immediate response, it just delays and negates the punishment. Obviously you have bigger fish to fry in your family dynamics, but honestly I don't see your sons feeling any differently anytime soon, as they are still seeing this as no real consequence for their sister. There is no way your wife doesn't buy Anna a b-day gift. Person facepalming medium light skin tone female sign. Person facepalming medium light skin tone female sign. Has your wife or Anna made a sincere apology to the boys? So there are 5 children and 0 parents in this family. Ash. Though the people who are 39 and 44 should know better. My wife doubled down and told them to FCK off. This is not parenting. I had little sympathy and told her to suck it up because it's her fault. This is not a helpful contribution. If you and your wife didn't want to be parents, then the time to have that conversation was 15 years ago. Seems like a big blow up for one incident. More like the straw that broke the camel's back. Ash. You and your wife. Your wife for the obvious reasons. You for not doing anything about the situation for weeks. You are meant to be a parent and a husband, not an impartial observer to all this. NTABC, you're right, but YTABC, you have been letting this go on for way too long. This is classic favoritism BTW. Your sons can see it. Your daughter can. Hell, I'm sure even extended family members can see it. Call it what it is. If you don't put a stop to her wife's behavior, get her fam in therapy or something. Get her wife to sincerely apologize to her sons. It's not only going to be her wife who has no contact with the boys when they become adults and are able to make their own decisions. It'll be you too. Info. Have you discussed this with your kids at all? Or just your wife? NTA for what you said to your wife. But you need to help your boys. And teach your daughter that her behavior isn't okay. It shouldn't be on your sons to teach her that actions have consequences. She's a great mom to them too. You have to ask whether your boys think that way. When it's that level of favoritism, it ain't great. To date your wife did not see what she did was wrong at all. Probably wrong is the wrong word. She was never on the receiving end of unfairness or unjust. I have an issue with people who cry and think they can get away with things without being accountable to their actions. You need to be more involved. You might want to take them for family counseling. But you have been taking this very passive role here. The boys exploded and this event is a trigger. They would have felt the unjust or unfairness for a long time. Probably forever. You saw that and thinks it's okay? It's not. One thing about the favored child that isn't commonly known. The other kids resent the hell of the favorite. Instead of having love, it's anger and resentment for each other. Parents who play favorites suck. Wow. I raised a son and daughter to adulthood. Both of them think that they're my favorite. They both honestly think they are my favorite kid. They both are. He's my favorite son. She's my favorite daughter. Your wife honestly needs therapy to figure out why she clearly favors your daughter. I'm not joking. Not at all. She needs to discover why she doesn't view her sons as being equal to your daughter in both responsibilities, accountability and maturity. There is something going on with your wife that is likely deeply rooted. And her relationship with her sons will be trash until she figures it out. Your job is to do everything you can to help her, as quickly as you can. Because you let your wife do this, without voicing your concerns. It didn't happen overnight. It's your wife's and your fault. I feel sad for your boys. My mother has always favored my brother. Even after he growing up to be a physically and sexually abusive drunk. She favors him. I hope Anna doesn't grow up with the same entitlement. She's a great mom to them too. You have to ask whether your boys think that way. When it's that level of favoritism, it ain't great. To date your wife did not see what she did was wrong at all. Probably wrong is the wrong word. She was never on the receiving end of unfairness or unjust. I have an issue with people who cry and think they can get away with things without being accountable to their actions. You need to be more involved. You might want to take them for family counseling. But you have been taking this very passive role here. The boys exploded and this event is a trigger. They would have felt the unjust or unfairness for a long time. Probably forever. You saw that and thinks it's okay? It's not.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.